WholeOfEngland here, and welcome to another user replay. So today we've got a replay in the Hakuryū with a guy in my clan called Martin, and as you can probably tell by the actual title here, it involves someone being alone. Now, obviously, this game, it's not going to be sort of like a 300,000 damage game, or he sort of does like a solo warrior and, you know, wins like a 1 versus 4 or 5 or something like that, but it's more the fact of what happens when you leave a carrier to ships that are pretty much on their own. Now, this game, it starts off rather slow. I mean, as you can see at the moment, he's just kind of doing circles and that, trying to get just really things spotted and that. And then eventually he's just going over. Okay, so he sees a Hindenburg, but I think he's actually targeting the midway here. Yep, so he goes over to the midway here, but his initial thing here was just to, I guess, spot where the carrier is, where it's going, and possibly get a bit of damage on him. And yeah, there we go. He gets 2 fires. I mean, it's a shame that there's an automatic repair party on there. Well, damage control party, sorry. So those did get put out, unfortunately. Otherwise, that would have been kind of good. But yeah, so pretty much it's really how you can really do a shitload of damage when pretty much, you know, they're on their own. These ships are on their own, and that means they've only got their own AA to defend them. Now, the sort of start of this game, it's more just a fact of he's trying to sort of single people out, and a lot of them are kind of grouped together, which is exactly what you want, you know, when you're trying to defend yourself against carry, because then you've got that sort of cumulative AA. But thankfully, later on in the game, Martin does get a very, you know, nice amount of opportunities where he gets quite a few battleships on their own, and you'll see what he manages to do with that. So, I mean, he's still going around at the moment. I mean, there is a, you know, there's a Kurfürst Montana and a Hindenburg over there, so that's going to be kind of hard to get through, especially if they're all very close. But I mean, this Kurfürst kind of away, but he's dropped his fighters. Oh yeah, there's the Hindenburg as well, so he's going to be taking some damage, but he's not really going to be losing most of his planes because he already sort of preemptively dropped them, so he's only going to lose just a couple. And yep, does get 2 hits there and gets 4,000 damage. So obviously the Hakuryū has got the AP bombs and then goes off with some torpedo bombers instead. As I know for a fact, the torpedo bombers on the Hakuryū are, well, they're good. They're very good because, you know, the planes have got a decent amount of HP, and especially when you are on your own, they can do a hell of a lot of damage because they can just go over, do a run, go over, do another run, and they just keep on doing that. And then you've lost like a third of your HP or something, or a quarter of your HP, and it's just not a good experience. So I mean, I guess this is more of a video to show you what you can do, you know, just really to protect yourself when you're going against carriers, or as a carrier, what to really look for when you want to be doing damage. So, you know, Martin was saying, you know, it was quite a few people seem to really complain about carriers being very, I guess, overpowered and, you know, pretty much breaking the game sort of thing. But his point was that, well, actually, if you're flying you're sailing alone, then it's going to be very easy for you to actually do damage and generally sort of target. Yeah, so, you know, he's just gone for that Kurfürst who's alone, and then this Montana's alone as well, so obviously what's he going to do? He's going to drop even more torpedoes and just keep on doing these sorts of runs. Okay, I'm not too sure whether he's going to go for the carrier or not, but it's just a fact of, so, because he was alone there, you can see here he's going for another run, and that was with having, is he going to make it? Yeah, he's going to make it. And that was with having just a small amount of planes, because he'd already dropped a few before he sort of made his run, so only a few of them are there, and now he can just go sort of straight back. I mean, he's going for actual the AP bombers instead, but even so, you can already see he's got a full squadron of torpedo bombers already as soon as he's done this run. So this is something you should sort of be doing as well when you are playing carriers. I mean, personally, I'm not really that much of a carrier player. I mean, if you look at my stats, they're, you know, I think they're barely in the 100, if that. I think it's like 90 odd games in carriers, so I've really not played them, but for what I've seen, mainly from just other YouTubers and other people that I've just played with, I've sort of seen how you play in carriers, and Martin does seem to be pretty good at playing in them, and well, you're going to see in this game, it's going to go very well. So the damage at the moment, it's quite low at the moment, but even so, it's just been pretty much the start of the game. There's only 4 ships that are being taken down on either side. So, I mean, either way, that's alright. And again, this Kurfürst is on his own. I mean, there is a Halland nearby, but obviously not close enough to do anything with, you know, with anti-air. And I think for once, fighters are actually going to do something, because they've been up for quite a while. So, that gets a single hit there, and the fighters finally go off on him. But that's another thing as well, is you shouldn't really rely on the fighters when you're in a battleship, or at least you should launch them very, very preemptively. So let's say that you've got, I don't know, you've got a sort of carrier coming after you, and you can see them like maybe 6-7 kilometers away, and you're pretty much on your own. There's going to be a good chance they're going to go for you. So at that point, you should probably actually launch your fighters. Sort of just a good, you know, a well-timed drop of them, because they don't last too long. But as you saw there, it was, you know, the Kerr first dropped them, and, you know, Martin was already pretty close, and only after he'd done his run did the fighters even start doing anything. So for them to actually take effect, you want to sort of drop them a little bit earlier, and that means, so when I've been playing in the Lenin quite a few times, that's one that's got a fighter consumable, and that's a ship I really like. But I do find the fighters useful, but if you are launching them a little bit too late, then they're just going to have pretty much no effect. They're going to do a drop, you know, the fighters aren't going to have locked onto your attacking aircraft, and then they're just going to return to the ship, and that's going to be it. So they've just gotten a sort of free hit on you. And here we go. So again, this is what he was sort of getting at. So this Thunder there that he's just launched on was pretty much on his own. I mean, there was the Grozavoy, but he was quite far away and only just started, you know, opening up his anti-air. And here is another Thunderer. I mean, the Thunderer, you know, you think it's not really got the best AA, but it does also have the AA consumable as well to actually increase the amount of damage you do for a short period of time. So it can actually, not devastating, but it can do a sort of, I guess, surprising amount of damage. But even so, this guy's on his own, and you can see Martin's just going in for another run with some torpedoes. I mean, he did miss his first run, but yeah, he's just gotten another torpedoes off, well, 2 torpedoes off, and those look like they're going to hit. 1, 2, yep, there we go, and that's just got him up to 54k damage. And now, as well as that, you can kind of see, because he's been doing these runs, well, as he's doing there, so, you know, he's dropping some initially, he's still got an entire full set, even though he's just been doing quite a lot of torpedo runs, and so that's 2 of them going back there, and he's probably going to do another one in a second, I'm guessing. Yep, there we go. So this just sort of means you can then have a, I guess, constant flow of attack aircraft. Well, would it be? I guess it would be attack aircraft, but yeah, the torpedo bombers. Sort of as soon as you go back, it's like they've already landed, they've already rearmed, and you can just go straight back again, and that's pretty much it. And unfortunately, he does get kind of close to the Grozavoy here, so I mean, destroyers do have pretty ridiculous anti-air, and you can see that's doing a bit of damage, but thankfully there's an island in the way, so it doesn't really take too much damage. And that same Thunder hasn't really learned, because he's pretty much in the same position there. I mean, he's probably going to be able to actually get through between these here, so I don't know if we're going to see. Okay, he does manage to get 1, but he didn't get the 2 because he just pretty much lined up. But because he's done that, he's sort of wasted quite a bit of speed, and now Martin can just sort of come in from the side, drop some more torpedoes, and hopefully he'll get another 2 hits. I'm not really too sure what's going on with this replay. He keeps coming back to ship. I don't know whether this is just on my end or something that happens with carriers in general. I mean, I've never seen it before where it's sort of showing underwater, but that could just be a, I guess, replay bug. Not entirely sure, but anyway, so yeah, he's going back to AP bombers, even though he's actually, yeah, so he's got another 12 torpedo bombers already lined up. So I mean, obviously he's not done sort of a crazy amount of damage yet. He's only done 74k, but at the same time, I mean, there's still 10 minutes in the game, and the amount of ships, yeah, it's 4 on each side, so pretty fair matchup. And it's just really, I guess, a battle of attrition in a sense, as it's just how much you can really get off. And at the moment, it's Martin's having a pretty good time here, because most of these ships are sort of on their own. So you can see at the top right there, the Montana's on its own, the Thunderer here is kind of on its own, but it's got the Grozavoy. But you know, obviously Martin's managed to get quite a few hits, so he's decided, you know, to not go for that and instead go for this Grozavoy here. I mean, whether he gets a hit on this or not, I mean, that'd be pretty good if he does. He's holding it well. Yeah, okay, managed to get a no. That actually looked like it missed, but that's okay, fair enough. But anyway, so he does get that there. I mean, so our team at the moment, I mean, most people do seem to be pretty grouped up. So the Yamato is near the Alexander Nevsky and the Gearing, and the Venezia and the Smarland are next to each other as well. And then just in the top right, you've got the Smarland and Kremlin going for the Halland. So overall, those guys are staying together, and at this point, it looks like the enemy team has somewhat learnt, but because of so many people have actually died, it's, you know, the actual amount of players they've got is kind of sparse, so it's just going to be easy for Martin to start actually picking them off. Now, because he's been saving all of his torpedo bombers as well, I mean, here considering how many players are left, I mean, it's yeah. So he's probably going to just keep 3 sets here. So it's going to be pretty easy for him to really, I guess, get some kills here now. So now it's just really a fact of, does he go for the Montana? I mean, I personally would go for the Montana because the Smolensk that was near him has just been taken out. So there's not going to be anything with decent AA near him apart from the Montana. I mean, obviously the Montana's got ridiculously good AA. However, it's it's going to be on its own unless the midway's pushed up a bit more. But we'll have to see. But it looks like Martin's actually going to go for this Thunderer because, again, look at that Thunderer. Even though he's been taking, I guess, a couple of salvos from the CV, he's still, I guess, just going away. I mean, if I were him, I'd be sticking kind of close to the midway because, the carriers often do have really, really good anti-air, as well as he's near the Montana. So at that point, he can then also kind of defend C and fire on the Alexander Nevsky and the Yamato that are near him. But instead, he's gone on, I guess, just some weird run of his own. I'm guessing he's trying to, counter the Kremlin or something. I guess that could be why he's going for it, but obviously, as you can see, that's pretty much left him pretty vulnerable to these torpedo attacks. There we go, he gets 2 hits, gets a flooding as well. Does he put it out? Yeah, he does put it out, but even so, that means the next flooding, if he gets a flooding, will be a perma-flooding. And so yeah, the Thunderer's actually slowed down, so now he can't really turn or do really much to avoid these torpedoes. So yep, Martin could just drop another 2, and he's actually come back and going to launch some more torpedo bombers because he's got another full squadron of them. And at this point, it's now pretty clear-cut who's going to be winning this game. So we've got 2 of the actual caps here, so Martin's team are also getting C as well, and that's going to be game as they've only got 3 ships, and yeah, Martin's team's got 8, so yeah, it's looking pretty clear-cut, so it's now just a fact of really getting the additional damage. So the thing to take from this is, yeah, as I say, it's not entirely damage, it's just more the fact of just showing you, I guess, from both sides, whether you're a battleship player and, you've been struggling with carriers, it's just a fact of just try and stay with your team. I mean, yeah, I know obviously some teams, you get sort of big lemmings and that, and then you don't really want to be sticking with your teams, but, I guess it's just a fact of staying with them and trying to stay alive as best as you can. And if you're a carrier player, just if you're struggling to, I guess, get kills, and that is just when you do see opportunities such as the one that Martin's got at the moment with a sort of Thunder at the moment, just sailing in a straight line on his own, there you go. That's going to be a pretty nice. Is he going to get 2? Yep, he gets 2, leaves him on 4,000 HP, so he's actually getting a decent amount of damage here, and that's generally just what you're going to be doing in a carrier. I mean, obviously you are going to have to go into sort of massive flak bubbles and sort of AA bubbles if there's quite a few ships together and you can't find any way, but even so, that's looking like that Thunder is about to die. Unfortunately, he didn't get a flooding there, but no, he didn't. Yeah, so his damage isn't going up at the moment. But even so, that's a good amount of damage, and Martin's actually pushing up just so he can, reduce the sort of travel time of how far his bombers have to go. Oh, that's a weird bug. Okay, I don't know whether that's a bug or not. I mean, it looked like a bug. Okay, there goes their enemy Thunderer. So yeah, obviously he did have like, I think 20k before or something, but obviously got him down to 4k. So pretty easy to knock him down, and now just the entire team is really pushing up on these last 2 ships' positions. And yeah, here's the Montana. I mean, the enemy carrier has dropped fighters, but I think a little bit too preemptively there because the Montana is just outside of that, so the fighters aren't going to really be doing anything. Drops some there. Gets a Citadel, that's very nice, so gets him up to 134k. And then does... Oh, I thought he was going to do a final on that carrier there, but that seems to be it. Right, so that's the actual game. We'll now go over to the results screen. Right, so here on the results screen. So unfortunately, Martin didn't actually have the results screen directly from that game, but I did find a website where you can upload this and effectively get the same result here. So you can see here, so he's got a pretty decent amount of actual torpedo hits, so he nearly got 20 there. So the battle did end pretty fast, as it was a pretty clear-cut victory. So I'm assuming if this battle lasted quite a while longer or something, or maybe the enemy team was making much more of an advantage, that would have given Martin a sort of better chance to get even more sort of hits, whether it be torpedoes and bombs. I mean, he did also manage to get 8 bomb hits, and one of those did actually cause a Citadel, as well as some of the rockets at the start caused 2 fires, but didn't actually cause any actual damage. And then, you know, 3 critical hits there, so that's any sort of, I guess, if you've destroyed like an engine or taken a gun out or something, so pretty good. And then 1 flooding as well, and just a hell of a lot of spotting ribbons there, which is quite good. And then just 5 target ribbon hits with the rockets. Pretty much that's an alright game. It is pretty good, and just overall really proves the point that was, I guess, trying to be put across in this video. And then we'll just go to the team score, so we can't really see the sort of amount of XP that was earned here. It's just sort of really shows the leaderboard. I'm not entirely sure whether this is accurate or not, or if it's just showing them in order, but as I say, we don't have the actual results screen, but this is sort of the best thing there is. But that's it from this video and this replay, so hopefully you found this entertaining, and I don't know, so Martin, thank you for submitting that, and hopefully we'll have more actual user replays in the future as well. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.